I got us into a cult.
Sorry, I led us into a cult that you ultimately did not. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough to come back from.
I was in Austin on Saturday. It was Friday night this happened. Did some shows right on Red River between 6th and 7th. If you know the area of Austin, Texas, that's downtown. It's kind of fucking wild down there. There's this like old gas station parking lot that's now like a food bazaar, right? And
Yes.
myself and a friend of mine who came to the show, she's a flight attendant, and my friend Brent Gill, who's a comic.
I know Brent.
Yeah, Denver guy, now lives in Austin. And his friend, I can't remember her name. I feel bad because she was very cool, but I met everybody in like a drunken quick haze. But then suddenly we're all at this food bazaar eating at this table, and this straight up just cholo. That's what this guy was. You know, he's got the fucking tatted up to the neck. But the kind of neck tats where you're like, those don't look like those were earned. I feel like if you have tattoos on your neck, they represent like a moment in your life that you want everyone to know happened.
Yeah.
And this guy just had this sort of very floral, new agey looking.
Weird. Yeah, like a flippant neck tat. Yeah. It was very odd. Yeah.
But he rolls up, and to my friend, because she's a attractive woman, he's like, "Hey, what's up? Can I sit next to you? There's nowhere else to sit. Can I sit with you? I got food." And she's like, "No, man, there's other places to sit. I'm good, thank you." And he's like, "Wait, what? Let me sit here with you. Why are you being all weird? Why are you being rude?" And she was like, "Dude, no thank you. That's it." And he's like, "Why you gotta be so damn rude?" And he puts his food down. So like, I'm not a fucking tough guy like this, but I am also like, hey, I stood up.
Wait, how did he start the interaction? He said
he was standing.
Yeah.
And he had food in a container, and he was like, "Let me sit next to you and eat with you."
Oh,
or
okay.
eat next to you.
And she was like,
and she was like, no. But it was also like, he was clearly like, I'm gonna sit next to this hot girl.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
try and get them.
And be annoyed. Yeah.
So when he put his food down, then I stood up, and then he sees me staring, and he squares up. He's like, "Nah, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all, homie." And I was like, "I'm not doing anything, man. I'm just straight up saying, hey, just walk on, please. It's cool here. And Brent stood up too. Brent's like, now he sees two of us. He goes, "Y'all don't want to do that. I got that thing on me." Right?
What? So I'm gonna hold a gun at you, so you may have to eat lunch with me.
But here's
like ultimate school shooter move.
2:30 a.m. food. You know?
Sure,
but I was just drunk enough to go, "I don't believe you."
Nice.
I don't believe you. And he's like, "You don't." He's all like, "You don't want. I got that thing on." I'm like, "Can I see the thing? Will you show me the thing? I'd like to see the thing." And he kept being like, "Nah, man, you don't. Nah, man, y'all being rude as hell." Yeah, I'm like, "Please show me the thing." And I just kept being louder and louder because if you know that area, it's jammed up. Pat.
Yeah.
There's people fucking everywhere.
So you're like, I'm gonna cause a scene. So if this dude does pull a piece, it's gonna.
And then he sort of like
get shot.
But then the weird thing was, she was like, "All right, man, chill the fuck out." And he stopped, and he just picked up his food and just stood there awkwardly eating. Right. So
now you're within earshot of this
but like
guy.
facing away from us.
Right.
And so we're eating, we're talking, and I'm noticing two things, which later I confirmed with Brent. The dude kept looking around like he was looking for someone, and he kept pulling his phone out. So there was that side of me that was like, fuck, he might have called for backup.
Yeah.
But then he also looked really sad.
Another guy who wants to eat lunch with someone. Yeah.
Well, 2 a.m. food.
I don't care. It feels like you're holding someone. You're holding someone hostage to eat lunch with you.
Oh, also because he was
fucking insane.
Well, here's the thing. He was also looking kind of sad.
Yeah,
it was weird. He's like looking just kind of sad.
Well, yeah.
So I was like,
the saddest thing of all time.
All right, I'm gonna do two things right now. I'm gonna So I was like, give me some to the group. I was like, hold up. I stood up, stepped over. I was like, listen, man, didn't mean to get all aggressive. You just gotta understand. It felt like you were invading our personal space. No hard feelings here. And he goes, "I don't even need to fuck your bitch, man." He's referring to.
Wow.
He's like, "I don't even need to fuck her, man. I got a Rolex, homie," which means nothing. Which nothing means anything.
Not relevant, yeah.
And I go, "That's not a Rolex," which I don't know if it was or it wasn't.
I just love that you're just calling.
I was just
everything.
like, I don't. That's no way. He goes,
you.
I'm like, "That's not a Rolex, man." And he goes, "Man, you don't know shit, man. If it ain't that thing on me, man." Oh, and I was like, "Listen, just show me the thing." And I said it like really low this time. I was like,
Like you're asking to see his dick.
Just show me the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, man, fuck y'all. He just stormed off.
Nice.
And then when I sat back down, Brent was like, did you ask to see it again? I was like, yeah, man. And then, that's the other thing. The girl that he was with, she was straight up, earlier when he was trying to sit with us, she was just straight up like, walk on, fuck off. Like, she was just straight up being like, get this fucking guy away. Yeah. So she was more intimidating than any of us. But it was this fucking moment of like, what did this guy expect to happen?
Right.
Like, he was just going to sit next to a girl who's with a group.
And then be like, let's get out of here. And she's like, thank God someone finally had the balls
someone
to do
who's
that.
got that thing on him. Which
Yeah.
means he didn't have a thing on him, by the way.
Of course.
It means he had no fucking, just the threat of having a gun is enough for some people. But I will say, we saw it, or we were waiting for Ubers to pick everyone up, and we saw him basically like across the street, like roll up on two more groups. So he's clearly like a total fucking loser.
He just has, he's just
with a fake Rolex.
Like,
or maybe it was a real Rolex, and maybe he actually had a gun on him. But like,
either way, it's just like,
yeah.
Like he just read the wrong book on how to make friends. Like, what you gotta do is you gotta go up to them while we're eating, and they have a group of 4.
You try hit on one of the chicks.
And then you call her a bitch. And then she usually 9 times out of 10 she will ask for a buddy a sandwich. At that point, you know she's down to suck you off.
And you'll be and thing is, once she's down to suck you off, she's probably gonna do it in front of everyone. Mm-hmm. And if anybody gets weird, you can show them the Rolex. And that means, that guy deserves to get sucked off. The shimmer
of the Rolex.
He's got a Rolex.
Will actually make it so that they can't even see you getting blown. You have a private room at the picnic table.
Exactly. And remember, if anybody then tries to be like, yo, you know what I'm going to do? He's getting his dick sucked. He's distracted. I'm going to steal that Rolex. You got that thing. Mm-hmm. You shoot him with the thing.
That's right.
While you're getting your dick sucked. That's what men do.
Honestly, though.
If that was my story... like, honestly though, this guy rolled up on my friend. She started blowing him because he was so much charisma. And then when everyone was confused, his Rolex and the shininess of it reminded us all that he was better than us. And then one idiot tried to take it. Now he's dead.
I just think
now he's dead, and it was cool to watch.
I've never wanted to take a life ever, and I will never do it.
I hope not.
But
I like to hope not.
But
I like to. I'm saying it right now.
If you're into taking lives, which
that's the way to do it.
Getting your dick sucked while shooting someone, like just strictly like cinematically, is like an unbelievable. Like you could never feel like more like God.
Yeah. There's entire fucking rap videos written around this concept.
Yeah, it's literally.
There's entire fucking movies.
I guess
There's entire McG films written around this concept.
Do you know Peter Martin? Do you know who that is? He's a comic in Boston, very funny.
Good name.
But he used to have a joke where he was just like, "Yeah, I saw a guy hitting a crack pipe while getting his dick sucked in the CVS parking lot," and I'm like, "Bro, how good do you have to feel?"
That's funny.
Like getting your dick sucked. That's what I'm saying. Like that. Like to feel like God in more ways than
That's also like if she sucks hard enough, is she gonna hit it a crack too?
Also,
through you.
What if you were just trying to be intimidating, and then she sucked so hard that it made you, and now you're like, well, you did it.
And you accidentally
look what you made me do.
And you shoot, but it's a kid. Like you're like, oh, I didn't mean to shoot the kid.
Yeah.
And now you can never. Well, A, you're in prison, but then B, anytime you get your dick sucked, you think about the time you accidentally kill the kid.
Right. Imagine ruining blowjobs for yourself.
That's why I'm saying like the worst play. Like I've never seen a ghost.
Right.
But I think the worst time to see a ghost
is when it's sucking
while you're
dick.
masturbating.
Oh yeah. Well,
I would love a ghost blowjob. No, come on. Like that scene in Ghostbusters, which when you're a kid you don't realize what it is until you're an adult, and you're like, oh yeah. But also, you know when you get blowjobs and you're just like, that feels so good. Let me go. Dan Aykroyd goes cross-eyed. No one. Have you ever? Has anyone ever?
No.
I want to do that once just to see if the girl notices. If I'm just like, but no. While you're like the moment you come as you're jerking off, then you see a ghost. That will ruin masturbation for you.
What if a girl? Yes, that would actually. But what if there was a girl that you liked and everything was really good, but every time you went down on her, her face was just like. Like it just went.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah, you'd be.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just set
It
up a
wouldn't
camera
ruin
just
it
in her
for
face, and she's just like, it's like a total beautiful, amazing.
Otherwise perfect.
I want to meet this girl.
Yeah.
I want to. That's what I want. I just realized that people are always like, "What are you looking for?" Intelligence, emotional intelligence as well. You know,
And just a girl that just
sound, stable, human, self-employed, just really into herself. Like doesn't need other people's opinions really, but values them because she likes connecting. You know, and really likes to travel. I like a traveler, someone who when she doesn't have anything to do for a couple weeks, she goes, "You know what I'm gonna do? See other parts of the world." But specifically during oral sex, while it's being performed on her, goes. Are you out there?
Yo, I need
My
a lady.
special someone?
I'm looking for a gal who loses a chromosome when she's getting the box seat, and if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I love a guy. If you know what I mean, being so like saying exactly what you meant and being like, if you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, you didn't hint at anything there.
I like a girl who don't spit. She swallows a lot. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I don't care about that.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
It's
That's
a weird. It's
your choice.
Yeah.
100%. Dealer's choice.
Once it's
or receiver's choice.
I have no.
My dealer's choice is your choice.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Well, it's been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not mine.
Yeah.
To tell you what to do with.
No longer mine.
The ball is in your court.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Contents. So,
well, figuratively.
Right. So to speak.
My balls were in your mouth, literally. The ball's in the court, figuratively.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm totally. I don't know if I'm right at all.
Dude, yeah. That guy really sucks at making friends. That's very sad and weird.
But also,
his apartment is probably a hellhole.
It's his parents' house.
Right.
It's his parents' house. He probably borrowed his dad's thing.
That sucks. Yeah, that's just sad though. Yeah, because you're just like, oh, it's like maybe there's something like slightly like he's just incapable of just being a adult person, and then just like tries to compensate him that in so many ways that he's like lost himself in a prism of like compensation, and now he doesn't even remember which is the original fucking him in this house of mirrors of hell, and he's just constant like a turkey, fucking.
Just anxiety.
Just absolute anxiety at all. Yeah, because it's like, can I sit with you? I would like to sit. You know, that's like much
to get his head chopped off and eaten.
Yeah. Hey, can I sit with you guys? Because if it's like, even that kind of sucks.
But I think it was because he had no interest in the rest of us.
No, I know.
He was trying to fuck.
Which is, dude. I mean, all right. Honestly, though, I kind of envy just the level of confidence. And I don't know if it's confidence or not, but like I could never, a girl's in a group and I'm like, yo, baby, you want to go to a movie? Like I would almost substitute that level of stupidity. Like I would take that trade of being that much dumber to be that much more confident. Maybe not all the way, but there's some argument to be made that he actually is pretty valiant man.
Yeah, like that was, yeah. I mean, no, I don't know.
I know, not really.
Because it's a level of blind confidence that would also walk him right into a terrible situation.
Like getting hit by a bus.
Or like
I don't like that when people are too self-assured that the car will stop for them.
Oh yeah, dude, that's fucking
ridiculous.
Obnoxious. Well, that's like some people, the way they drive, where like they'll speed up and get on someone's ass before they pass
it's like,
them.
yeah, how do you know that I'm
person's not gonna slam on the brakes?
Oof.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But also, like, yeah, that guy, I think, is the kind of guy who would like accidentally walk into like a full-on group murdering of him. You know, like just like some fucking sick rich kids who are like, you want to just go kill a guy? And then they like, oh wow, dude, you're really cool. Where'd you get that thing from?
Right.
Like, you don't even know, homies. I'll tell you all about it. Let me come with y'all. And they take him to like a warehouse one of their dads owns because it's a shell company. And they just take him in there and fucking kill him for fun.
Right.
He walked right into it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's
with
wrong.
his ego. Yeah, they just like fluffed his
I'm not
ego.
saying they're wrong, but like,
yeah. But yeah, you can't be, being led astray.
by your own just blind confidence.
Right. For some reason, that just reminded me. There was we used to go like camping as a family, which is like hell.
What?
That was like their vacation.
What are you talking about? Everybody loves that.
No, it's bad.
It's everybody's favorite time of year.
Also, it's like the house was
People
already
still do it.
The house was already small and in the middle of nowhere. And my dad was like, "Oh, what if we went into like a trailer?"
Yeah.
And then we had to worry about keeping meat fresh.
Yeah.
As well.
And a fire lit.
This is a guy who, like takes every bill personally, as I told you. So it's like the general. Anyway, the one place we used to go is called Fisherman's Memorial Campground, and there was a
Rhode Island.
There was an old like military like base there, basically, like with like they would have tanks that overlook the ocean, and like a little that little slit where a tank's fucking. Or not a tank, but like a missile would be stationed.
Sure.
Anyway, there was also like cells and stuff, right? Like prison cells for POWs, whatever.
Yeah.
And we went in there, and it was very dark and wet and gross. And then we chased this mouse. There was like a little mouse, and we were like, oh, cool, a mouse. And we weren't. And then we got it in this little room, and it's all cement. And I don't know how, but one of us just started going. And then we all started maniacally laughing, and the sounds were echoing all over the fucking cement walls, and this single mouse was just in the corner just running in circles, and it was just like an absolute nightmare created for this mouse, and then we left.
Or the mouse was loving it. You don't know.
It could have been sick.
The mouse might
like
be
just like
"This
a wild
rolls.
stimuli.
This rolls.
But dude, there's something very fun about going into an all cement room with like 3 of your friends and laughing maniacally, and it sounds like 50 people are in there. It was like kind of nightmarish, but
dude,
sick as fuck.
That's what I mean.
It was very funny.
You're talking about. I mean, I didn't realize. You know how many? I mean, I don't know how many movies 15 movies off the top of my head I can think of where I've seen that exact scene.
Really?
No. No, it's crazy. Yeah. You guys ever go hang out in a cement room and just laugh and freak out a mouse?
Yeah.
You don't do that? You ain't never been to Fisherman's Wharf, Rhode Island.
Well, I didn't pitch it as here's some relatable stories for you folks.
Yeah, I guess we didn't start.
It was an odd.
You weren't like, I got a relatable story for you.
Well, it was because you figuratively or whatever brought that guy into a dark like cave and killed him in that story.
A warehouse.
It was a warehouse. Yeah, so that's
similar,
what made me think of it.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. An empty warehouse, empty, you know.
I mean, that guy was an idiot. But, dude, the amount of, like, sometimes I'm glad that I'm not, sometimes I do wish I was a little more outgoing as a person.
In what way?
Just like, I'm pretty shy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Publicly, I'm kind of like...
I know, I am too.
I'm more of an introvert, believe it or not. You know, I'm just sort of like... I keep to myself, but I like being like...
You're pretty good. You're pretty like out. You're more out than the average person, I would say.
More out than the average person, but I'm not... Like, I can't go to bars by myself.
Right.
And just talk to people. I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
hard.
I don't think a lot of people are psyched on a dude doing that in general, though.
Yeah, I know, but like some people can do it and like make friends and like...
Yeah.
Like I can't... Like when I travel alone, if I'm not doing comedy, I'm worthless.
Right.
If I'm not doing shows, I'm worthless. Like I can't... The idea of like going on a solo Europe trip and just going to see places and then like meeting people, that wouldn't happen.
I feel like
women... just keep to myself the whole
Women
time.
are kind of better at that than men in general. Does that make any sense?
Women are a little... I mean, I know it's also harder for women to do this.
Right.
Because they could get easily more...
But in terms of like being independently traveling, you know, like I just go alone and I enjoy my me.
Well, I've had, dude, I mean, I enjoy just being. I'm just here.
I enjoy my me-ness, you know?
Well, dude, when I was in... But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, though... So I was in earlier this year...
They like themselves more, I think I'm saying, ultimately.
Yeah, but also it's... I mean, it is easier for a woman to walk up to a group of strangers.
And probably easier for a woman to like herself.
True, too.
You know what I mean?
But also, it's more dangerous for a woman to approach strangers simultaneously.
And not more dangerous for her to like herself, though.
But no, keep loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
keep loving yourself, girls.
Just don't get into a car with a guy you don't know that well, anyway.
Yeah.
But I was in Columbus, Ohio earlier this year, and I was doing shows at the Attic. And I was just walking around during the day, just kind of like letting my head breathe, stop at a coffee shop, write a little bit, get some lunch, get some steps in, just kind of like I need a lot of alone time. It's like part of my fucking needs. And I was at this bar/restaurant having early dinner, and I noticed this dude. This is like very just standard dorky looking white dude, kind of bouncing from table to table and around the bar. But I noticed him, and I was like, this guy knows. And my initial thought was, oh, this guy just knows everyone. And then I got food, and I'm eating, and he sits down next to me and orders a drink, and he goes, what did you get? And I can't think of, there's few things that make me immediately not want to talk to a human being. Is when I'm alone eating food and someone starts asking about what I'm eating. It's like, I don't do it.
That's what I was saying. People
do
don't
it after I'm done.
Right.
So how was that? But people were like, oh, what is it? Is it good?
Right.
You're like, unless you're like about to order the same thing and you need a judgment call made right then.
And even then, there's a way to do it that's not like, how's that little thing? Yeah, as opposed to just, you could be like, hey man, I might get that. This is weird, but.
Yeah, and I was just like, tuna wrap, or whatever the fuck it was. Oh, chicken Caesar wrap. And he starts.
Tuna wrap.
Starts then asking, he's like, oh, yeah. I've never seen you in here before. You come here often? And I'm like, the come here often question? I'm like, no, man, first time. And then he keeps talking at a rate where I realize, oh, he doesn't know anyone in here.
Right.
I thought he knew everyone in here. He doesn't fucking know anyone.
Yeah.
And now I'm his latest attempt at a night. And it was like 6 p.m. And he's like, Columbus, man. Yeah, it's a fun city, I tell you. Lots to. Well,
I already hate this guy.
Yeah, he's like, what are your plans for the night? And I lied. I was just like, oh man, I'm about to meet this girl I've been seeing.
Perfect.
Total.
No, you can't come.
Total.
You
lie.
can't watch us.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he's like, oh yeah, okay. And then he, sort of had a drink. We chatted for a little bit longer, and then he's like, well, I guess I'll just stumble out solo and see what's out there. So it was mega awkward when he was at my late show that night.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Real fucking awkward. Because I noticed him before I went on. I'm like, holy shit, that's the dude.
Well, people's plans change.
That's the thing. I made it a point. It was the second show to get on stage and be like, yeah, I got dumped about an hour ago.
Oh,
just straight up made up some bullshit, but did it in a way where it was clearly not true.
Right.
I think I said I got dumped about an hour ago, so I decided why not just headline a show.
Nice.
Why not just do that instead? And the people just kind of laughed, and I did my set. And then afterwards, he came over. He's like, "Do you remember me? I was like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" And then I immediately focused my energy anywhere else.
Yeah, he reminds me of the guy from Groundhog Day. He's like Ned Ryerson.
That one's a doozy.
Yeah.
That way he goes. Got the shingles real bad senior year. Almost didn't graduate. Bang.
Dude, the only time I remember being alone and making friends publicly in the way that he's doing was in London. I was out one night and I had these mushroom tablets and I ate some and I was with a couple people and then everyone went home and I was just coming up on mushrooms and I'm
in London?
It's in London and it's 1:30. I think things start to close at 2. Maybe there's a couple things open until 3 or 4. And so
in London, or you can find nightclubs open till 10, but
I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, so I just start walking around, and then there's one guy standing, and because I'm on mushrooms, I think it's just, there's no extra. It's just, hey man, and then we start talking about what he does, whatever, and I, just kind of enjoying and then that's fine, and then there's these guys smoking a joint or whatever, and their accent is a little more oh, yeah, what you do a lot,
Oi, bruv.
So they're from a harder part of town,
Cockney then, isn't it?
So we start smoking this joint or whatever, and that's kind of fun for a while. And then I'm like, all right, see you later. And then I end up going to this pizza place, and I just sit down in this pizza place, and I just I'm not hungry at all, but I'm just observing things happening. And so some people sit down next to me, and it's a group of old guys. They were suits, and they start one of them starts including me in the conversation randomly, and then he at some point literally pulled me aside. He's like, hey man, what's your read on this guy? You know, I'm thinking about bringing him into, like, he's asking me if he should trust the guy that he's with, and I'm like, dude, I was just like in.
Wow.
I had like the force, you know, dude. And here's the clincher is like I was a couple other people sat around me, whatever. Then a girl came up to me and kissed me.
What?
I swear to God.
What?
It sounds like a completely made up story.
It does.
But yeah,
I'm over here like a guy weirded me out, and I lied, and he caught me, and you're like, this chick started fucking.
I know. I don't mean to be that guy, but it was just the mushrooms, and I was just in London knowing no one and wanting nothing. And it was just like, I don't know. I've never
Did you
really
go home with
experienced
this
anything
girl?
like that. Not at all. No, it was just like a random kiss and then goodbye. And I was like, goodbye. And then that was it. And she was like with a couple friends.
You should do mushrooms every night of your life.
Probably, right?
Yeah, you'd be
There could definitely
so
be nothing bad that could happen as a result of
Yeah,
that.
you're-
Certainly
yeah,
not a consistent but slow mental unraveling.
But then like you and like you're like, dude, this is the girl that kissed me. I'm like, that's a Doberman pincher, buddy. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Dude.
you're just like,
Have you ever?
this is the guy whose business I consulted. I'm like, that is a wooden stick.
yeah.
It's a wooden stick with what looks like a blood stain on it.
Dude, have you ever met someone who seems to have done too much psychedelics specifically?
Most people in my life. I know a lot of people. But then again,
Wait, most of the people in your life have
not
done
most people in my life, but I know a lot of people who've gone overboard. But also
with the psychedelics specifically.
yeah.
Really? And what it's like it's like a specific kind of brain fry, I feel, but I don't really know like how to describe. I guess it hits everyone a little differently, but
I know when I was in not high school, but like the year after high school, a guy I know who could get anything. The guy who got things, he showed up at this party.
he was Morgan Freeman in Shawshank.
Pretty much, or like just the guy, the dope things. You get any of the drug things.
Right.
He showed up at this. My buddy's like, it was one of those like,
He could get you a poster of that pretty girl from the movie.
all right, well, he'd make it, or at least to get you a poster. He couldn't tell you what was on it. It's just a poster.
Just
So
look
it
at
might
it.
just be a picture of fucking.
You take enough of the shit I got, you can put anything you want in your
Yeah.
mind and it'll appear on that poster.
Open up that poster. It's just a truck, but you can imagine that truck belonged to a woman, and she drove around in that truck.
Until the Phillies won the Super Bowl
Fought it
or
in
the
it, and then they
fucking World
flipped-
Series.
And then they flipped it, but she wasn't in it. She wasn't in it. She was standing inside. Took her shirt off too. Saw her titties.
Both of 'em.
Imagine that. When you look at that truck, imagine it being flipped over by Philadelphia Eagle fans and her removing her top in celebration. See the titties when you look at the truck. Wow. That's how you sell a poster. Just convince whatever the poster is that there are titties involved eventually. That's a motherfucking salesperson, bro.
Yeah.
But-
Anyway, okay, the guy, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but he showed up at this party, not a party, but 10 friends hanging out. He showed up with all these sugar cubes
Okay.
with acid
Yeah.
dosed, and a bunch. I didn't take one, but a bunch of people took one, and it wasn't until about 90 minutes in, 2 hours in, when people started losing their fucking shit. Where he's like, "Oh yeah, each one of those was 12 hits."
That guy is a monster.
Well, I don't think he didn't mean it that way, but it was that way. It was one of those things where it was like, whoa, okay. Because I remember I got there, I left and then came back. When I came back, people were like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember my one buddy being like, he kept walking around going, so this is tripping. I've never tripped before. This is tripping. And I'm like, you've tripped the most out of any of us. He's like, no, this is tripping.
So he was fine.
No, but he was out of his fucking skull, though.
Right.
But he was like,
he
yeah,
could handle it because he'd
he
been
could
there.
handle it 'cause he'd been there.
Dude, I couldn't have. You're doing over a strip. That's crazy.
Too much.
Dude,
People
good
were-
call not doing one.
People were fucking.
Dude,
it was
a
bad.
certain kind of person would not come back from
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I remember seeing like everyone who was there. There was like 6 people on Astro. So everyone who was there over that next week, when you'd see them, they'd just be like, just in their heads,
Yeah.
just like brain burnt,
Yeah.
trying to unravel or trying to repack what they'd unpacked.
Right. I don't know
during
if
that
this
journey.
does it ever happen to you where you're like high, even smoking weed sometimes, like I'll not know if I'm thinking something or saying it out loud. So I'll like out loud say something that I didn't intend to say, or I'll think I said something that I didn't say out loud. You know what I mean?
Did you not hear what I just said? I have been that high before, but never that high. No, I've been more high where I'm like, what if that started happening?
Oh yeah, and
I've never been like, ooh, did that just happen? I was like, ooh, what if?
Yeah, but dude, that's that's gotta be a long time before you feel normal after
The
that.
highest, the biggest anxiety attack I ever had because of how high I was on weed was it was young too. Well, like I don't know, like 20ish, but I got fucking like gravity bong high. You know, you ever do gravity bong?
Yeah, yeah,
It's too big of a fucking hit.
it's
Coughed.
unnecessary.
Yeah, and I was just high as fuck, and we were sneaking into my friend's house so that she could get the keys to like her dad's car and drive us somewhere else, right? So it's like three of us, and we're doing this like we're all being super quiet. It's dark as fuck. I'm high out of my mind, and we get into the house and we get onto the back porch, and she turns on the light. She's like, "Just fucking wait here. I'll be right back." And I remember when he goes with her, I'm by myself, and the whole time I was just sitting there staring, not off into space, but just in the corner of the room, of the porch, and it resembled my parents' front porch. So I had this moment where I was just like high as fuck, and I'm just like, I'm fine, talking myself off of the edge, talk of a anxiety ledge. I'm like, I'm fine, and I start like I'm at home. And I remember thinking like, if I start freaking out, I'll fucking wake my mom up. I'll go to the hospital. They'll shoot me up with adrenaline or some shit. They can unhigh me. I'm like, and I can. And then when she finally came back out with my friend, I'm like, let's go. And I had this realization of like, oh shit, I'm not on my parents' porch at all. I'm here with this. Oh fuck, and was zoomed back into the present. But I flipped. It caused a chain reaction anxiety attack of like, I legitimately for I don't know how long thought I was on my parents' front porch.
Yeah,
And the fact that I was suddenly not, and remembered like, oh fuck, oh wait, this is my, oh god, oh shit,
and we gotta go now.
And then I just had to like cap it. I was freaking the fuck out. I started having the thought of like, oh man, do I know where I am at all? Am I ever where I think I am?
Dude, that's the worst. Yeah, when you have like existential fucking
right.
And you're with people,
and then you can't. But I can't.
And you're like, I
guys,
can't.
I'm freaking out.
You can't even articulate it.
No.
Yeah, you're just like not fun. I've definitely done that with like, I'll be with like 6 people, and then I'm just way too high, and I can't even like begin to start to say that I'm too high, or So I'm just like, I'm just gonna be like a quiet, weird guy.
But
for a
you
while.
like shrooms?
Yeah,
because I have not done shrooms in over 20 years.
I think all of these things are better in less quantity.
But apparently studies have shown recently that like, weed just doesn't vibe with some brains.
Yeah.
But shrooms do.
Yeah, I'm more chill on.
And apparently
shrooms do not freak me out.
That's what I've heard. I've heard this from people like me. Some people have OCD as well, but some people who just panic when they smoke weed, that shrooms don't do that at all.
Yeah, weed absolutely wakes me up. Like, I can't, like, these people that smoke weed and go to, like, my cousin Sarah will, like,
psycho.
Yeah, she'll take a 50 milligram edible and go to bed. And I'm like, dude, I do
wish I could do that because I could just sleep better.
Yeah, that would be insane. Yeah. But I would be a 50 milligram edible, I'm up and I'm losing my fucking mind.
Dude, when I get like super high, when I get like big time high, it is this constant underlying feeling that something awful is about to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's constant.
Just like that hum in the movie, like...
Yep. It's like, it could be anything. And then all of a sudden, like, yeah. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. And the fly is me. The mosquito's me.
Mm-hmm. And you smush yourself.
The life, or not even just like God. Who the fuck knows? Smushes me because I'm bothering. Because I've nipped him too many times. That's what prayers are. Prayers are just us as humans, mosquitoes, slurping on the blood of God, and God's it's only a matter of time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, bro. That's my cult's.
That's crazy.
My cult's philosophy.
Is a mosquito's blood our blood, or do they just eat our blood and then they have their own blood?
No, they make their own milk. They're gonna start milking mosquitoes.
No, don't do that. I'm genuinely asking because I know that's how they survive, is they take our blood. But I'm saying, do they have their own blood, or is it all of their blood is our blood that goes through them, or do they just have a belly full of our blood while they...
Like, what if they find that, like, mosquitoes, like, basically are human? They're just really tiny. So like you zoom into a mosquito, it's just a little guy with like a straw, fucking like a snorkel, but the kind not for underwater, and just like
It's me.
I need blood.
That's what you fucked up as a human if you come back as a mosquito.
Yeah, dude, you're fucking right. You did.
Yeah.
But it's a short. But you didn't fuck up. It feels like you fucked up, but not that bad.
How do you think they experience time? Because they live for a day. They live for 24 hours. But, we think, oh, that's on Tuesday? That's crazy. I would be over in a second. They might experience time so quick.
Well, they have to.
It might feel like 98 years.
It probably does.
That's interesting.
It probably does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think smaller is just generally things move slower. Like dogs. Dogs 15. But to them, they're like, you look like you're sad. Like, don't remind me.
Yeah, I know. It is.
Yeah, but dogs, but to them, it's probably 75 years. You know?
You think it feels... Right, because, you think about what they do all day is, like, sit down and just kind of think or not and look at things and then have to pee and then wait.
And actually, dogs, I think, in one day, probably experience, like, a month. Because they sleep a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just honk out, get up, eat, fart, shit, move, bark, get walked, sleep some more, get up, sleep some more. You know what I mean? Like,
there's, like, several days in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks in one day.
But then they go to bed with us and they sleep the whole night, too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, they sleep most of the time.
Yeah, they're pretty interested in...
Like, were you ever...
They're like Europeans. They take a lot of naps.
Did you ever, do you or ever your friends ever, like, get your dog or cat high?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cats.
Cat, you think they freaked out?
Yeah, probably.
Like, someone once told me that when you
Never crazily, though. Like, we would, like, blow weed smoke, like, on the ear of the cat.
blood in the ear, yeah. Apparently, though, someone once told me that if you get a cat high or a dog, they don't come back from it. It changes their whole fucking shit forever.
Really?
I'm like, that's dick. I hope that's not true.
Yeah.
Because that's also just like animals just chilling. They trust you. It's your friend.
I know.
It comes and it's like...
No, it's a stupid impulse.
Fuck you, bro.
When you asked me, I immediately was like, shamefully, yes.
Yeah.
Because I would never now, but...
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. I want to try shrooms, or not try them, do them again. But also,
in very small doses.
I can also remember that, like, I've only done them a handful of times. Every time I did shrooms, though, it was like a serving, and I always smoked weed with it. Always.
Yeah, that brings it up.
So it brought it up, and I can remember, like, the feeling of, like, oh, okay, I'm tripping. But then also being high and having the...
Oh, the extra thing.
So, like, now as an adult, 20-something years later...
You don't need to do it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll grind them up and put them in little veggie capsules, and you know it's like a 0.1.
Yeah. Dude.
Just a nice little accent on reality.
Moment.
None of that.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
A little little.
And if you're like at a concert or whatever, you take like two or three of them, and you're like, oh, this is like substantial, and you feel very sober,
Yeah, but you're just...
I feel like almost more sober if I'm in a controlled environment. I feel like I'd feel very fucked up if I all of a sudden had to like give a presentation, while on mushrooms,
But then also, you do it and you're just great at it, and you're like the fucking
on
giving
some
full
level.
on TED Talks, but you're just tripping your fucking brains out the whole time.
yeah.
Let him talk, man.
Yeah.
Let him go, dude.
Let him go, brother.
That's Ryan. Welcome to the Donahues. You're a Donahuean. I'm a Donahuean, man. That's cult. We're in it.
Yep.
You don't got it. No, you just got to make friends.
Cult.
That's the thing about, to the point earlier, about wishing I was more outgoing, but then sometimes not at all. Sometimes I like just being the guy observing. And then when you make friends, like when you meet someone organically like that shit, that rules.
Yeah, they end up being a little bit more up to speed.
But I bet there's probably been like 15 women in my life that I've just like seen at a bar or a restaurant or a diner or whatever, and like made eye contact with, and it's like they're like double eye contact, where you like make eye contact and then you both look away, and then you look back and they're kind of looking at you and they look away, and you're like, oh shit, I should go talk to them, and I just didn't.
Yep, I've done that too.
And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it's such a stupid feeling. Because
But
it's also
women, I encourage you, come talk to me.
yeah.
Man.
No, but it's like a weird.
I know.
Yeah.
It's one of those like
If you
equality, but that's not changing.
Well, but also it makes sense, right? Because we should. In my stronger moments, I'm much better. Because also, if I'm like in a good space, I can be like, oh, I'll just go talk to her like she is not a different thing than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like talk the way that
No.
Like that's when I'm in a good place. But if I'm like high or in a weird zone or had been high or whatever, it can be just absolutely.
But that's the thing about New York, man. Sometimes it's like everyone is so fucking overworked or stressed out or just like in their head about shit that makes it. It's got like being single in this city is a different beast than the one than it was before
Before COVID or?
But no, I mean before my ex.
Oh yeah,
who I was with for 8 years.
Right.
But like before her, it was like I was like super broke and like getting by and doing comedy and shit, but I was just like broke and just happy to be alive.
Yeah.
And then like now it's sort of like I'm still happy to be alive, but then you're like, man, I can't imagine what just being like a 25-year-old single person in this city
is like now.
Just working some slog job and just like but stressed out about getting by, not really knowing who you are, trying to figure out who you are, and then like also dating.
Right.
Like,
sounds like a sitcom. I mean, it's like every show ever.
Yeah, dude. But like the idea
we're trying to find ourselves while we're dating in New York. It's like every terrible show.
The best way to date, in my opinion, so far, experiencing it, is not trying to date at all. Just do your thing.
Yeah, I think that's the correct.
And like if a dating situation lands in your lap, you're like, oh hey, what are you doing on my lap?
Whoa, crazy!
Why are you on my lap, you crazy girl?
Oh, that's great. That's my lap.
What are you doing on my lap?
What? You made a chair out of my lap?
What?
That's weird. I'm not furniture.
What do you want to make out of my face? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that one yet.
Yeah.
God, I feel like you're flirting with me right now, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think you're flirting.
That's crazy.
I think you're totally flirting.
I'm totally flat.
Touch flirting.
Totally flat. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Have you ever been like, I mean, some of that too, though, it's like, oh, I haven't figured my shit out. You haven't figured your shit out. Let's just kind of dive into each other.
Yeah.
And then pop up 3 months later knowing like exactly as much about ourselves as we know today. And it's like, that's not good either, It's like this weird, if you ever like deviate from your like forward motion to go, if you have to go do it, like that's probably not the right gal or whatever,
I mean, you ever like think about the idea of like not moving in with someone?
Yeah.
I think too many
ever.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like just straight up being like, hey, we'll be together, but you have your place. I have my place. Yeah, I'll come over. I'll be at your place 4 nights a week, probably. But other 3 nights,
having a spot.
We both have our private.
Yeah, I mean,
spaces.
I feel like
we're together for 6 years, great, but we're still.
Yeah, I mean, if you can both swing that financially, I feel like that makes sense. I feel like a lot of times it's like, oh, we're like, it's like more of a thing of circumstance.
Sure.
Like the way people's like relationships end up. It's like, oh, well, we can afford to have one room, so we'll have that, and we'll live here, It's like the song.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like most people.
I'm sure there's a song about that.
Well, no, you know the song, how it goes? Well,
that's a fun. I'm gonna start doing that
after.
Oh yeah, it's just like that song.
Well, that song. It would have been more popular, but they didn't record it in the same studio.
It's that
for the effect. They recorded it in different studios
because they had the money.
Living in different spaces. I mean, Fleetwood Mac, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Not having to see the same faces.
A very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard.
Are you
Life used to be so hard.
Are you fucking doing that Andy Kaufman guy? Tony Hinchcliffe?
Tony fucking Clifton.
Tony Clifton.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Are you doing Tony Clifton right now?
Ain't no Cliff I ever heard
of. You're doing? Really?
All right. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow. Well, this is like dating. The moment where you realize the person you do a podcast with can whip out Tony Clifton at any moment.
Fuck you. Dude, that guy's the fucking man. I will hear no negative things about Tony
No,
Clifton.
me neither. Just no one expects it.
I saw him live a couple times.
You didn't see him.
I saw him live twice.
You didn't see him.
I swear to God.
You saw someone doing the character.
I think Bob Zamuda was doing it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I literally, I was 18 and a chick came off stage and poured a shot of whiskey in my mouth while I was in the crowd. It was like the best day ever. And then, dude, he had this whole thing where he's like, there was a younger woman who was like setting up chairs and stuff, like whatever for each song, like they had a different set. And he's like, give it up for Stacy one time. And like, everyone's clapping or whatever. And he's like, starts telling the story. He's like, yeah, Stacy, I was doing a big show in Vegas and I was driving on a town and she was thumbing, and I pull over, I give her a ride, should we start working together? And I just want you all to know that as of today, she is my legally adopted daughter. And then everyone's like, oh, and starts clapping. And then he just starts tonguing her down. Like, dude.
I was about to say, it had to be.
It was absolutely wild. That guy fucking rules. He's the man, dude. Oh, man. Yeah. Long live Tone.
Tony fucking Clifton, dude.
Dude.
Maybe he was doing Andy Kaufman.
Dude, fucking Jim Carrey. Did you ever hear that he was method acting as Tony Clifton on the set of Man on the Moon? I mean, that's diabolical.
Yeah.
Like, to be like, no, I'm doing method. And it's like, no, you're just being an asshole to literally everyone. He was like crashing cars on set and just throwing temper tantrums. I love a method guy who just is like, no, I'm just going to totally use this as an opportunity to be an absolute cunt and take no responsibility or accountability.
It's also a thing where it's like, hey, you're not actually doing a method acting, because if you were truly convinced or you were truly in character,
you wouldn't show up to set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When the director was like, hey, Daniel Day-Lewis, we need you over here. He'd be like, I need you wherever I need to be. I'm an oil man.
He would be at the oil rig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be like, if you're really method, they were like,
they'd have to kidnap him every day.
We need you. Hey, all right, so take two. You got it in one take. What's a take? What is that? That would be fun to be the method actor.
I mean, I think what you're describing is actually being insane.
Insane, yeah, but just like
fully losing the plot.
He doesn't understand he's on set. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know what lines are. Don't say lines. He's gonna talk the way we need him to talk, which is roll camera and get it.
Yeah,
that'd be fucking.
It's weird because it can kill. It also killed Heath Ledger doing it, as the Joker. He was just fucking around too much, and Jack Nicholson called it. Like, there's a video somewhere where they're like, oh my God, Heath Ledger's dead, and then Jack Nicholson was like, I told him.
But that's also that's an interesting thing, because I do respect the shit out of acting, but where do you need to take yourself to be able to just go, and I thought my jokes were bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was, it was a brilliant performance.
It was.
But I'm like, what? I don't understand why you need to go in such a dark place to be able to be this character.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? On that screen, in that movie, there's nothing he does that's actually insane. He's doing bad guy stuff. He's kidnapping. He's blowing shit up.
There's a chance that going method is inherently narcissistic and a little bit
it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Because I think the Joker movie is real fucked up.
Yeah,
the Arthur Fleck, and you don't hear about Joaquin.
He gets weird.
He gets weird, but he didn't come out of it like, I can't come out of it.
Well,
also apparently doesn't want to make out with dudes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it did.
That's a bizarre. Also, to do that last minute, it was like, all right, I'm producing this movie.
Yeah.
Where we got everything set, and then we've been working on it for a year. Everyone's on board. We're about to shoot in a weekend. I can't make out with a dude. I just realized.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull out of it. I was gonna pull out of him. You know? I forgot I was talking about this last night with some fucking idiots.
Oh yeah, that was me and you.
I know. I'm fucking with it. But yeah, I love acting, but then some of the you look at Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad, 5 seasons of that,
unbelievable performance,
and manages
to just stay
chill.
And
didn't come out of it like I need to go live in on a ranch for 2 years and not
cook.
talk to anyone.
Yeah, I gotta cook.
Yeah. It's
I'm
like he
cook
just
now.
came out of it and was like, I was acting.
Yeah,
and did an awesome job.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Unlike Austin Butler, who just is Elvis now, like he just
I can't stop talking like that.
Yeah, and it's just like, really? Or did you just decide that was like a sexy, fun thing for you to do?
Yeah.
It's a little inherent. I just, because like when you are your instrument and you're playing like your instrument, it's like, because I think acting training might have subconsciously or consciously this idea of you are becoming more human than other people. You know what I mean? Like you're so aware of yourself and you're so that like you look at other people as like less evolved than you as a result. And like, yeah, you have done work and that is impressive, but like, you know, it'd be like if a mechanic was like, you don't understand cars, baby. You don't get it. You're less of a human than me.
But you know what is interesting though? I have watched movies where I'm like, man, I kind of wish this actor would have gone a little more method because the shit feels too robotic.
Yeah.
And the one I'm going to say might be controversial.
Go for it.
Jack Nicholson, A Few Good Men.
Really?
I think that the whole speech he gives, it's, to me personally, I'm like, I wish they would have done 3 more takes. Because the one that they went with, to me, feels very acted. It's like, who's going to do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? It's just very like, it's very Aaron Sorkin, by the way. And I know, but that guy, the problem with Aaron Sorkin, same problem with Kevin Smith. None of them are good at characters. They're great at stories, but every character talks the exact fucking same in everything they've ever done. They all speak in the exact same tone, exact same vernacular, same level of intelligence. But the point is, in that movie, Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. I know it's a classic performance, but every time I've rewatched it, I'm like, it just feels too rehearsed. Like, I think Tom Cruise outdoes him in that scene.
You know what I really like? Well, he does in the scene itself, number one.
I mean, Tom Cruise is fucking great in that movie.
But the scene is him outdoing him.
Outsmarting him.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, acting-wise. Like, you believe Tom Cruise is this cocky little lawyer where I'm like, I feel like I'm just watching Jack Nicholson deliver the shit out of a monologue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's over. I wish he would have been more method.
But I do think he succeeds in doing what I think is the quintessential Jack Nicholson thing, which is teetering on the brink of potential insanity. Like, it feels like every single role that I've at least seen him do, it's like, this guy has a fucking he's on the edge of crazy at all times. Like, he might go nuts. You know, One Flew Over, obviously, that's like one-to-one. Of course.
Yeah.
But like anger management, just like the light might turn off. Obviously, The Shining is another thing.
The Shining, yeah.
Like that movie, I feel he still had that thing where it was like, oh, this dude is like, I don't know, the level of compartmentalization kind of would make you a bit robotic in a sense. I don't
hate the movie. I don't hate the movie at all. I thought one of his better performances.
As good as it gets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, holy shit, this is fucking...
I think he got an Oscar for that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But you're also like, I believe having those, whatever. But like, it's like, oh yeah, he's doing everything right, OCD-wise.
Yeah.
Like there's a moment where he shuts the door and he locks it and he unlocks it and he starts crying and he like stops and he locks it again, unlocks it. I'm like, oh my God, that is such a perfect execution of like what it's like.
Do you have? I might have asked you this before, but do you have things where you got to do it 3 times?
Not so much. Not you get a hold of it.
Okay.
But it's still there.
Yeah.
It still happens from like more do you want to admit on a podcast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But also, yes, it happens. Like
I understand. Like it's almost like I have that with like anxiety where it's like if I it can it won't like take hold the way that it did and stay as long, but there are like little moments where I'm like, oh, this is like a moment where I can't be helped by anybody but me right now,
Yeah, I mean that's why I get hella agitated. Oh God, I
get mad aggy.
I'm so hella agile. No, I get agitated by anyone who I get fucking totes my goats. Remember Totes My Goats? I get Totes My Goats and go. No, when people who are like openly talk too much publicly about OCD, I'm like, it's okay. I do talk about it on stage and shit and in podcasts, but then sometimes it's like you hear people just talking about it like socially, and you're like, it's not that easy to fucking discuss.
Yeah,
you have to force yourself to discuss it because it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
I feel that way about like everyone's autistic now, you know, and it's like I don't really know if you really have, you know.
And some of the people who are autistic, it's like you should be thanking whatever fucking creator created you that you're autistic because you're a successful artist.
Yeah,
probably because you're autistic.
Sometimes people will just be an asshole and then they're like, "Sorry, I'm autistic." You know what I'm saying?
I don't like that.
Like, I'm not good at social cues, so when I called you a cunt, I didn't think that it would be a big deal.
If you're aware enough to be aware that you're not good at social cues, you have disproved your theory.
I would say so.
You can now be aware of social cues.
You've seen behind the curtain of Oz.
Yeah, like I don't agree with that idea of like, oh man, I just talk. I'm sorry, I'm just rude. That's just me. It's like, no, you're aware.
Yeah.
So you're being rude on purpose.
Yeah.
That's like the person who goes, hey, if I'm being too much, just tell me to fuck off. It's like, no, I should not have to tell you as an adult to be aware of yourself.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And also, when you do tell them to fuck off, guess what they don't do? Fuck off.
Yeah, they don't like that. They're like, what do you mean? You know,
they're immediately like, oh, cool. I guess I'm being too much for Mr. Social Guy. Oh, this guy's the king of the room. I can't be around His Majesty. I'm like, here you go.
Oh, I can't.
You told me to do something.
I can't sit down, eat my lunch, and get my dick sucked at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, even when I got that thing on me?
Even when I got that thing.
Even when I got that thing.
I know what I got now.
That was a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah, not bad.
That was fucking good.
That was fucking fun.
Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you.
Hey, you got a brain on.
So one time we'll do it together.
And that's when we both have